You're watching KMAC Red Raider Nation's Countdown to Kickoff.
Welcome back to Countdown. We now welcome on a very special guest. It is Colin Post. He covers TCU for 24/7 Sports. Now, Colin, the Horned Frogs have seemingly come out of nowhere to be where they are now. So how has this team been able to play so well up to this point?
Just the new scenery has given a lot of guys who were very talented in a previous system new confidence. They've been given new opportunities, put in new outlets, and guys are put in positions to do what they do best instead of being asked to do what the system needs from them. And you're seeing guys like Max Duggan, Quentin Johnson, who we knew were talented, having career years in a new system.
And this is a game that's been circled on fans' calendars since the summer. Are the off-field storylines on the minds of these Horned Frogs?
What's funny is that anybody that's followed Brian Carrington and his career when he was at USC and Texas, et cetera, has known he is a flashy dude. He's loud. He likes to say what's on his mind. And so it's not really surprising that he was kind of the center of this drama between TCU and Tech with the comment that he made that led to the to all the cactuses and et cetera, what we have now on Twitter. TCU has a bigger picture beyond this weekend, but I know this is a huge benchmark that they've been thinking for a while. And Brian Carrington will be on the sideline, and I'll be interested to see win or lose kind of what that midfield meetup looks like for the players and coaches post-game.
Also, with that being said, quarterback Max Duggan has been playing at an absolutely unbelievable level this season. How has the coaching staff really brought out the best in him?
They're just kind of making little tweaks, Stan, to this offense that are kind of moving more towards what Max Duggan is gifted at. And for a long time, people felt like Max Duggan was like this Tim Tebow bruiser who could only run and really wasn't very efficient throwing the football. But he leads the Big 12 in passing efficiency right now. And Max traditionally has been someone who does not throw well to the right of the field, especially deep. And this year, when throwing deep, Max's best and most complete game has been when he's throwing 20-plus yards down the field, but they're centering that more towards the middle and to the left, and they're doing a lot more play action. 30% of his snaps come in play action. They're allowing for receivers to get more open, give him more time, and behind a really improved offensive line.
And no one's been able to do it yet, but Colin, how would you beat the Horned Frogs if you were the coach?
Really throwing towards the side of TCU's secondary that's not as strong. So TCU, unfortunately, has kind of always, at some point, has a hole in their secondary. But I think the bigger key will be defensively. Their offensive line, though improved, still has a lot of kinks. And so if you can bring a lot of pressure on Max, speed up his game and contain him in the pocket, I think that'll be really gives TCU's offense really serious issues. Getting him uncomfortable and forcing him to make quick decisions. To me, that is the only way Tech wins this game, is if they are really able to throw TCU off their rocker.
All right, that is Colin Post. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's flip it over to Mason, who is in Fort Worth.
When it comes to offenses in the Big 12, it's TCU, Texas Tech, and, well, everybody else. The two schools have been absolute juggernauts when pushing the ball down the field, and unsurprisingly, that all starts under center. We've watched enough Texas Tech football this season to know why the Red Raiders put up those big stats, and it starts and ends with Zach Kittley. But what about TCU? Well, having the conference's highest individual passing quarterback definitely helps, but the Red Raiders think it goes way deeper than just that.
You know, if you look at that team, I was looking at it, I was watching, just got to, watching the West Virginia game. I mean, it's an old team. You know, he's got 4 offensive linemen that played last year, and the receiver, I mean, whether he's young or old, that dude's just a freak. So, so you got an old offense. You got a quarterback that's played a lot of football that has really bought into that system.
Coming up later on, we'll take a look at a guy who is at the focal point of that offensive attack.
Once again, time to better call Collier. I just got his phone number recently, so I think I'm maybe just now welcomed into the Red Raider Nation crew. So we mentioned this earlier with Colin and at the beginning of the show, but we were longing for football in the summer, and then we had that exchange between Tech coaches, or TCU coaches rather, and Tech fans. This rivalry is blank.
Oh, it's alive and well, and like you said, it's because of those reasons. Thanks to that Horned Frogs athletic department. Yeah, Stan, this game has been called the battle for the saddle. You see it right here, the West Texas Championship. If this Twitter tip would have been around, oh, I don't know, a few years back, we wouldn't have to revive this saddle. Cool deal. I've enjoyed the social media back and forth without a doubt. You know, we've got the Cactus taking on the fans trying to take over Amon G. Carter Stadium. TCU, like you mentioned, they tried to block out the Red Raiders. We'll see if they were successful with that. Of course, you mentioned it earlier, with the Horned Frogs being undefeated and in the race for a college football playoff, there's going to be a lot more purple in that stadium had it been a little bit different. But interesting to say the least to see how many Red Raider fans were able to snatch up some tickets and make what was, you know, a rivalry a little more intense. It was fun over the summer, right?
A little more juicy now. Now that I've seen the saddle, why was Joey McGuire putting Kenny Perry on the spot saying he's got to be the one to get on the saddle?
I don't know. He just wanted to see his buddy riding on that saddle. I mean, everybody's going to enjoy that, right, in West Texas?
I would. I absolutely would. That's hilarious. Thanks for the visual, Coach. Well, stick with us. More to come on Countdown to Kickoff. But when we return, we'll let you know about the games that you can catch right here on KMAC throughout your Saturday. And then later, we've got board games. Feel free to join us from your couch or wherever you may be watching us.